Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is now above $90,000. Actually, scratch that. It is now at $94,000. That is actually really amazing, considering the fact that we were just talking about this last week and now it's happening this week in real time. Mind blowing. This is also happening despite the fact that there was a lot of fraud in the market, despite the fact that everybody was afraid, despite the fact that there was this trade war issue going on between China and the United States. Despite all of that, the market is recovering. Can you believe that? And this is something that I've always been saying. Do not pay attention to the news. It doesn't really matter. The price is going to do what the price is going to do, despite what the news is saying. I think right now, all of a sudden, China and the United States want to meet up to probably have an agreement. Most analysts will now say that, oh, this was the reason that the market pumped, but there will always be a reason. The charts will always tell you exactly what's going to happen before it happens. Pay attention to the charts. Okay, so that's enough. In this video, I want to see where Bitcoin is going to go in the short term and also what I'm planning for my moves. So if this is something that you're interested in, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, share, follow, do all that nice stuff. All right, there was someone in my comment section saying that he was looking for my videos but couldn't find my page. Come to find out that the guy was not even following. So if you're like this guy, make sure to check to see whether you're following or if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and so you don't get to look for my content. All right, so let's get straight to the video. So this is Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame, and as you can see, this is the breakout that I was talking about. You can see this trend line, right? And you can see this breakout. So Bitcoin had a significant breakout, as you can see. And right now, Bitcoin is approaching these levels. This is the level that Bitcoin is at right now, which is about $94,000. And we don't even have to go too far back for this analysis. We don't even have to go too far back. Look at this here. We have this huge level here. Now, this level acted as a support level before. It's very significant. In fact, this level is so significant that it was what led to the lows at $77,000. So this supply area here was strong enough to send Bitcoin to $77,000. I want you to let that sink in. Let it sink in and understand the implication of this. What this means is that this area here, is probably not the best area to start buying because there's a lot of supply in this area here. So if you're thinking of FOMOing into the markets, this is something to be cautious of. You know the crazy thing about these breakouts? If you watch my previous video from last week, you see that I was actually in a short position in this area and I was saying that I was going to close out on it and enter a long position in anticipation for this breakout. But I didn't do that and I ended up missing out on this huge pump. But it doesn't really matter because I was already backed up in investments. By the way, investments is the most important thing. Investments will be the guaranteed ways for you to make money in this market besides trading. All right. So I want you to keep that in mind. Think of investments as your sure banker. Right. So now that that's out of the way, so as I just said very clearly, you can see this. I'm not even making this stuff up. Where is this tool? Look at this. We had a support level here. We had a support level here. We had the support level here. You can see all of these bounces. These are very significant bounces, all right? And they were able to push Bitcoin literally back to the all-time highs. However, this same level was able to push Bitcoin back to about $74,000 actually. I said 77,000. It's actually 74,000. So this is a very, very strong level in my opinion. This is about, it pushed Bitcoin by over 20%. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to get to this level back, but I'm just saying this is probably something you don't want to, ignore, especially if you want to come to the market right now when prices have already surged. You want to wait for a reversal. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm never going to tell you what to do with your money. What you decide to do with your money is always going to be up to you. But regardless, this is what I'm looking at. And it's pretty interesting to see that if we go to something like let's say the oscillators, for instance, look at this huge stochastic RSI here on the 1-day time frame that I was talking about earlier, and the reason why I was in a short position right at around $86,000. But was it 86? About 83, around $84,000 actually. So look at this here. We are looking at a major cross on the stochastic RSI here. Now this could happen tomorrow or maybe even today, to be honest. And I'm expecting that this cross would be what will lead to a perfect consolidation in order for prices to continue upwards, and if you also look very closely, you will see that this area here is actually a pretty significant level as well. This level was the level that we had to break out of in order for prices to get back to this place. So if we are going to be getting a bounce, it's very possible that our bounce could look like this. Yeah, so I think something like this would make a lot of sense to happen. Maybe like a drop to this level here, and then we then perhaps start to consolidate here for a bit, then we break to another level. This is what I'm looking at for price action, but I can't really say this is going to happen. But if this should happen, just know that it is a blessing and a huge opportunity for people that are currently having late entries into the market. But don't FOMO in. You want to wait for that reversal. A very perfect confirmation for this reversal would be, let's say if Bitcoin is not able to close above 94,000. If Bitcoin is able to close like below 94,000, which is this supply area here, this huge candlestick here, you can see the body of this candlestick here. If Bitcoin should close above it, then we could just be headed back to this place. To be honest, that's around $100,000. It could really just be happening like that. But I don't know. I'm expecting prices to drop a little bit, hopefully, so that we can get good, really good entries on trades. Now, if we go into something like the 4-hour time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, we don't really have anything here, but we also have this stochastic RSI at the top, literally on the 4-hour time frame. We also have this happening here. So this is actually something to consider as a probability if we're going to be getting reversals in this market. And I think it will be interesting to see, because it will just provide the best buying opportunity, just like I've just said. Keep in mind that what is actually happening now is that we broke away from what we refer to as a falling wedge. I mentioned this in my last video. This is actually a falling wedge, and how a falling wedge pattern usually works is that after the breakout happens, we are likely going to get a reversal to the previous support level, resistance level anyway, which will now be flipping to a support level. So if we do get a drop as low as 87,000, it's going to be an absolute blessing, or even 90,000 or 89,000. It will be an absolute blessing for the market, and it will be a significantly great buying opportunity for everyone, literally. But there's another case scenario here. We could also just consolidate here throughout. If we get any form of consolidation here, just like what we had in this area here, if we start experiencing something like that here, then we are likely going to break above, just like what we did here, which was what made me to enter a short position here. But if you have prices drop a little bit to the side, then that's perfect, buy the dip. But if it consolidates here, I'll likely enter a long position around this place and probably have my stop loss at around this area here, just as a rough sketch of what I'll be doing if depending on how prices move. But if we go to something like the 1-hour time frame to have a closer look at what is going on, in my opinion, I think it's very possible that we could be in for a head and shoulders pattern. Look at this very close market cross here that is mostly about to happen right now. Once this cross is done, we should be expecting prices to start dropping significantly on the 1-hour time frame. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm expecting a head and shoulders pattern to confirm a reversal, but I can't really say that's going to happen right now because it has not happened. But it looks like a formation that could be playing out. Maybe if you look at the 15 minutes time frame, it may become very clear. But imagine something like this. This is one of the rules of trading. You don't want to be imagining anything. All right, so imagine that we have this here, this to be the first shoulder, then we have this to be the head here, and then we get a second shoulder somewhere like here. Now this would be a perfect setup here, because this would mean that we are forming a reversal pattern literally at a resistance point. There's no other confirmation you want to be looking for again to suggest that prices are going to drop a little bit. But if we do not break below this neckline here on this potential reversal pattern, which is somewhere around here, 92,500. If we don't break below 92,500, then we have a serious problem, and we could likely be consolidating. So this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now, and let's see how this plays out moving forward to the whole of this week and to next week actually. So this is something that I'll be watching closely. By the way, if you want to be seeing everything that I'm doing in this market, you should probably join my private group where you get to see all of the trades that I'm doing. It's just $3. Click the link below to send me a DM on Telegram. And also, if you're interested in taking trades by yourself, let's say you don't want to join my private group or any of that, and you're looking for the best trading platform to use, you should definitely use CoinX. Sign up with my link below and start the trading game today. Another chart that I'm really interested in looking at is this Bitcoin dominance chart. So for altcoin season to fully activate, we need to see Bitcoin dominance drop down. As you can see, or maybe you can't see it, but around here you can see 64%. Bitcoin dominance is currently at 64%, which means 64% of the entire crypto market cap is on Bitcoin. And we need to see this go down if we want to see altcoin season activate. And I don't know, this doesn't look too good. I have to be honest. Because ideally, from a move like this, we were supposed to get rejections, but that is not happening. I think it's about time that we come to terms with that truth. It is not happening. We are not seeing prices reject at this huge supply area here, and prices just keep going up. Now, what we want to see, but we still have a little bit of hope here though, because we have this huge candlestick here, this week here actually, and we don't want to see this body close above this thing. So we want to see Bitcoin dominance drop significantly before the end of this week. What's the probability of that happening? I don't know, but to be honest, if Bitcoin dominance keeps going up, it means we are going to be in a situation whereby Bitcoin will be rising and altcoins will be crawling, so to speak. And that is not good at all. I'm sure you guys will not like that. The other saving grace will be somewhere here though. This would be around 70%. We don't want to see Bitcoin dominance at 70%. That would be terrible. That's very similar to what happened during the bear market in the last cycle, and that was like 2023, 2022. Yeah, around that area. This one here was 2019, which is another top of another bear market, and this one is 2020, another top of another bear market. So typically, whenever Bitcoin dominance is really high like this, it's usually the bear markets. We don't want to be seeing it approaching here. We want to see massive rejection in this area here. That's why I have this analysis here. But you know, we can't really predict this stuff. We can only analyze, and I'm saying that this doesn't look good. So this makes me a little bit more cautious about what is going on in the market right now. I saw speculations of people saying that this could literally just be a fake out situation, and to be honest, I actually agree very much. Let me show you something on what happened in the last cycle. Now, in the last cycle, look at this here. We had this major rally to the upside, then we started experiencing rejection, right? Now you can see this rejection is kind of similar to what happened just now. I'll show you how in a couple of seconds, but just look at this. We had this massive rejection here. Then we had this rally here back to the same area and gave us a double top situation. Now, if we go to the oscillators, you see something very, very clearly here. On the oscillators, we had, actually, let me get rid of this. On the oscillators, we had this MACD cross here. Then we had a lower MACD cross. So like a bearish divergence, right? And then prices dropped. Now let's go to where we are currently. We don't really have a bearish divergence here. We have a top here, then we have another top. Quite alright, but it is not a bearish divergence, right? So in my opinion, yes, what is happening right now could be a fake out, but I think that this fake out could lead to new all-time highs, of which at that point it may not necessarily be a fake out anymore. But let's see how it plays out. But in my opinion, it's possible that we could get all the way to new all-time highs, and this MACD would probably cross to somewhere around here or 6-7 area, and then we'll then have that bearish divergence like this, and then we'll be in a bear market. I think this is something that could actually play out over the next couple of weeks or months. To be really interesting to see. But that's for the future terms anyway. In the short term, Bitcoin still looks very, very bullish. We have a lot of upside to go in this market as far as I'm concerned. I'm not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your money, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing with mine, if there's any consolation. So look at this. Another thing that I want to show you. I know this chart is a bit clustered actually, but bear with me anyway. We still have this 300 days from the halving event that we've been looking at for a while now. We still have this event here, and look at where we are currently. We are just around that area. We still have all the way to 500 days, which puts our all-time highs at September, October, November area. So this is something that I'm looking at for the market, and where I think prices could go. It's very possible Bitcoin could do $150,000. It's also very possible that Bitcoin could do up to $200,000. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm more looking at this market from a duration perspective rather than a particular price perspective. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think I found that this is the way that works in this market rather than trying to get the perfect price. I think the perfect period would make sense. If that makes sense to you, then you should smash the like button, subscribe, share, and do all that nice stuff to make this video go viral as much as possible. I will see you in the next video. Bye.